Hey guys, EJ here from the Back Porch Antiques, and today I want to highlight one of the specific booths in our store. This is booth 204 if you're looking at numbers, but also known as the vendors who call themselves the Lion and the Lamb. They are vendors that have been at it for quite a while, and they have good stuff, and I want to highlight a little bit of their specific area in our store, along with some history of some of the things that they sell that we've got to sell here in their booth. But also give you a little bit of an idea about what some of the things are that are selling good. So starting out kind of in the front of the booth, throughout a lot of antique stores you'll see a lot of crockware jugs and crocks and things like this. This is a jug along with this one, and jugs sell really well because they present well. People like to display them. This particular jug, I don't know the origins of that. It says just a plain 2-gallon marked jug. Some of your whiskey jugs, which this one is not because it's got a big hole in it, but they'll have writings and things across them. There's some that are local in Greenville that are going to be $1,500 jugs. So if by chance you run across any of these types of jugs that have Greenville, Tennessee on them, or Knoxville or Johnson City or things like that, they're worth some big money, and I would be a buyer. But this is actually a jug that was made for a Bud Long & Sons company in Providence, Rhode Island. Another little note that when you're picking these sorts of jugs up, don't ever pick them up by the handle because they are 200 years old and they may come off and damage the value and the piece specifically. So try not to do that. Another good seller are types of blanket chests like these. People like them because of their, I guess, their utilitarian type. And this one's pretty old. It's got a little bit of old paint look to it. It's also got some old style mortising and things like that that make it look pretty old. I love the child's chairs. These sell well. People put those in their houses and even on their hearths, and will set dolls in them. And they're pretty good. Always kitchen utensils are good. Wooden bowls, they sell well. Kitchen utensils display well for the display piece. Another thing that you'll notice in this booth are some of the architectural salvage pieces that you'll see right here. Something you could imagine that in either an old bank or a hotel or something like that. People repurpose those for how they will display in whatever area it is that they're trying to illuminate. Over my shoulder to the right here is another piece. This is an arch which could have been in many different places and somehow or another. And you'll see that in a lot of primitive style decor. Tables sell really well, especially these old tables that have the square, really old nails to them. We call them square nails because sometimes they're more square than they are round. That one is round, but they're just really old. Sometimes they're even blacksmith, so they're made by blacksmiths. Little baskets such as these sell really well, and this one, if you'll notice the handle, it's very primitive in the way that it's made, and it's a good little basket. It's a wall-hanging basket. They call them half baskets. This one is actually attributed to Rogersville, Tennessee. Another useful piece up here is called a hanging corner cupboard because it's a cupboard that's in the corner and it is hanging. Now you could actually put that in on a tabletop or something along those lines, but oftentimes they are hung so that you can use them as that sort of a cabinet piece. Here's another type jug. That's probably a North Georgia piece because of its shiny glaze. Let's see what they say. They don't say, but that's attributed to southern part of North Carolina, northern part of Georgia, those sorts of things. Now, this is a candle mold. For those of you who are probably following this channel, or for those of you who like antiques, you probably already know that. But candle wax was poured into this and allowed to cool, and then it was busted out and used as candles. Which, by the way, candles are taken for granted nowadays. It's just something we decorate with, but it was a means to survival, really, after dark. You got lamps and you got candles, and that's really the only kind of illuminance that you would have after dark. Little things with drawers in them sell really well. And these type spice cabinets, or if you get them bigger, they're called apothecaries. Anything that has little compartments and little drawers in it, those are very collectible and sell really well. So keep your eyes out for those, and maybe you can hit a home run with that. A lot of people like whirligigs. You'll see this as an example. I believe that one is articulating. But these are actually made, you know, 1800s, give or take. Probably that one there, 1880s, somewhere along those lines. Kind of has the French red, white, and green type look to it. But they were very popular. You'll see another one over here, and that's kind of a double. But those were handcrafted kind of folk art pieces that would be presented in that time era that's really collectible now. Pewter pieces, those are a very collectible thing. There's a market for those. People collect pewter because of its antique look. Those sorts of things will present well, and they will make for great decoration. Here is another pretty cool piece. Now this one's got some real age to it. This is a mortar and pestle, which, if you're asking what is that, it could be used to make food sustenance. It could be used to mix, you know, like pharmaceuticals. You see this particular thing kind of highlighted on advertisement for pharmacies and things like that. These were a staple in most houses. Matter of fact, here's another one that's made out of clay. But this one here is really old, really heavy. Would have probably been more of a commercial use in a general store or something along those lines. Would look good presented in many ways. Also in this booth you will see some more crockware, some jugs, some more architectural salvage from the old. This is a primitive style booth, one of our popular vendors, and I thought we'd share that with you today. But before we go, I want to show you one more piece that I think is really cool, and it's a branding iron. Legitimate, real deal branding iron. I guess it would be, I'm not sure what that would say, maybe LAS or something along those lines if you're not familiar with the process. You know, you would lay these over hot coals or a fire and get it really hot, and then stick it to the hide of your animal, preferably your animal, and it would leave your brand, so that when it came time to market your animals, you would see your brand and know that that is your animal. So that's a really cool piece. But anyway, this is booth 204, the Lion and the Lamb at the Back Porch Antiques. They've got some great stuff. Swing by and see us sometime, and we'll talk some more about it. So thanks for joining us tonight. We'll catch you later.